They go inside. Harrison Barnes with a turn and gun, rolls off the rim, but tapped up and in. Barnes has been playing extremely well. Sends it outside, and Buddy Hield knocks it down. Substandard so far this season. Shoots a lot of threes, doesn't he, Greg?
75% of his shots are coming from three-point land. I'm a little surprised at that percentage because he's good inside the arc and going to the hole.
Against Dennis Smith Jr., Fox launches, grazed the rim. Sack goes baseline. Jeremy Grant wanted to go to Plumlee. Good overplay inside by Bagley and a steal. Bagley all the way to the rim, flips it up and fills it up.
George, can you see a little difference already?
You called it. So it's 12-4 Kings as De'Aaron Fox comes to forecourt. Harrison Barnes lobs. They go back door. Pitch it inside. A hook, and he hit it for Richaun Holmes. They look like a high IQ basketball team.
Right now, they look like a team that's been challenged, again, by themselves.
He has a pair of threes for 6.
Nice to have him out there, George. He was a question mark, Sadiq Bey.
Where'd you be without him so far? Harrison Barnes for 3, and that is through. Jeremy Grant gets to the basket, scores it off the square. After the Piston miss, they got a stop and a 2-on-1 break to Josh Jackson for a jam. Josh Jackson to the lane, to the rim, rejected by Holmes. De'Aaron Fox runs it the other way, flips it up and fills it up.
He's like waiting in the woods. He's gotten Josh Jackson twice now.
And he'll be the beneficiary of a lob. And that was paralysis by analytical analysis. Everybody's thinking 3-3-3.
Wrong decision.
Bad decision. 27-14 now. De'Aaron Fox rocks that dribble, gets to the elbow, sends it and scores it. Quick release. De'Aaron Fox has 9. It's 31-14 Kings. Just over 3 to play in the first. Jeremy Grant to the basket, lays it up, lays it in.
30 years old now, Corey Joseph.
Down the lane and missing Jeffries, but jamming on the follow is Bagley. Saban Lee gives it up to Jeremy Grant. Jeremy, time for the jumper, and down it goes. Bounce inside, intended for Jeffries. Kicks outside. Driving is Barnes. So smooth. Harrison Barnes lays it in. Saban Lee puts it on the deck, gets to the basket and scores it. Good board work by Isaiah Stewart. And a pass ahead to Svi. Lost out of bounds.
Unforced, George.
Josh now with 8. Jeffries on the run. Corey Joseph back to Barnes, shovels it inside, gets a dunk for Marvin Bagley. Pistons trail him by 12. Svi screens for Saban Lee. Lee with the drive. Nice little double clutch. Glasser goes. Wayne Ellington comes to get it, bounces it inside for Isaiah. Nice shot. Little double clutch scoop for Isaiah Stewart. Made them both. 41-31. Turning the corner, Saban Lee scoops and scores. Kyle Guy drives it, dishes it. Holmes' shot is in and out and then back in again. 43-33 Kings. Jeremy Grant gunning from the top, and it drops. Jeremy Grant with a triple. Sacramento by 7. Buddy Hield for 3, and it's through. Stretches that lead out to 10. Smith Jr., nice bounce inside to Jeremy Grant. Leaning hook, and he hit it.
Now the Pistons have been giving starter jackets to all the honorees. Big Sean is not here to accept it, but his father is accepting it on his behalf.
Barnes and Bagley 7 and 8 for the Kings. Dennis Smith Jr., great dish off to Stewart for a slam.
Several defenders and kept his dribble alive. More importantly, Dennis Smith Jr. knew where his outlet was, and Isaiah Stewart with the good hands and finish.
Jeremy Grant wide open gun short off the floor to Sadiq Bey. He will turn and fire and fill it.
Nice hustle.
Holmes has 12 and 12 now as he made both free throws. Isaiah Stewart rejected by Holmes. I'm going to say it was on the way down.
You need to win. He hasn't been on many really winning teams since leaving Golden State.
Down the lane for a windmill jam. Dennis Smith Jr. Hello. Stewart screens. Smith Jr. dishes. Jeremy Grant misses. Tapped in by Sadiq Bey.
Would put a dent in it, but it hasn't. They just keep plugging in pieces and getting it done when called on.
Young people keep getting better and better. Wayne Ellington dumps it inside for Mason Plumlee. To the basket, cutting Dennis Smith Jr. for a score.
Beautiful.
On a scale of 1 to 10, that was a 10.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox rips the net from behind the long line, though. Screens for Fox. Buddy Hield bounces to Bagley. Bagley to the basket, down went Plumlee, and a jam for Bagley.
You have to be very careful when you go to the floor hoping to get that whistle, because when you don't, then there's nothing between the guy you're guarding and the rim but atmosphere.
De'Aaron Fox behind the back to Holmes. He'll duck in and scoop it and score it and draw foul. Dennis Smith Jr. to the paint, to the basket, flips it up, fills it up.
So we've seen his strength, and we've seen his explosiveness.
That dunk was something we won't forget.
All right.
De'Aaron Fox finds Bagley inside for a deuce. Dennis Smith Jr. off to Josh Jackson. Down deep to Isaiah Stewart. Into the corner, Sadiq Bey sends it and scores it. Perfect pass. Heck of a play. De'Aaron Fox with a drive, dumps it off. Bagley with another jam.
All 5 starters for the Kings in double figures. Balanced scoring for sure.
Jeremy Grant to the basket. Double clutch score off the square. Count that baby, and a foul. Dennis Smith Jr. screen from Stewart. Jumper. Yes, rattles it home. It's a triple. Shot clock's at 10 for Dennis Smith Jr. Screen from Stewart. Smith Jr. from the wing. Knocks it down. That's definitely from downtown. Josh rushes back. And now the Pistons are playing 5-on-5. Bagley to the basket for a score. Jeremy Grant with a screen. Smith Jr. with a drive and a scoop and a score.
Smith Jr. putting on a show here.
Hield for 3 off the heel. And at the end of 3, it's the Pistons 80. Way outside for Marvin Bagley. Buddy Hield whips it to Harrison Barnes. Barnes with a drive, reverse glasser, good. Mason Plumlee back on the court. Josh Jackson down the lane to the basket, scoops and scores. And he has drawn a foul. Steve Mikhailuk, top side for 3, and it's through.
Timely.
Big time basket. Driving is Fox, and he scores. Josh Jackson gets it back. Dishes in front to Plumlee, half hook, and he hit it. Driving is De'Aaron Fox. Connects and draws the foul. Fox forecourt for Barnes, took it away from Josh Jackson. Harrison Barnes outside to Bielitsa, and he connects. Here come the Pistons with that 4-point lead. Saban Lee to the basket. Gunning got it, flipped it up. De'Aaron Fox with a drive, floater, filled it up. They got 25 from Fox and only 10 from Buddy Hield, the three-point shooter.
Buddy Hield's a different kind of player now these days. You know, just the fact that all he really looks for is the three.
Smith Jr. with the clock at 4. Jacks up a three, and it's through.
Fresh off the bench. How difficult is that shot?
And contested.
You cool down, shot clock winding down, you hit a big bucket.
He has 16. Bielitsa with a quick hoop on the Sacramento. That was the 5th foul on Holmes. Bielitsa gives it up to Buddy Hield. 2-point jumper, yes, for Buddy Hield. Barnes gives Sacramento a 1-point lead. The Pistons go to the middle. Sadiq Bey with a scoop to Mason Plumlee for a score. Josh Jackson with a bounce to Plumlee. Plumlee burrows inside. Corner feed. Sadiq Bey buried it. Sadiq Bey from downtown. Barnes feeds it inside for Holmes and a score.
And that was a great pass by Barnes along the baseline.
Bielitsa with only 5 on the shot clock. Inbounds to Barnes. Harrison Barnes drives and dunks. Harrison Barnes fires, fills it.
That's a veteran right there. That's a world champion right there, folks.
Pistons led by 4 with 2:01 left, 9-1. Kings run since then. Dennis Smith Jr. dumps it deep, and Josh Jackson jams. They get an easy one there to pull within 2.
Rover defender here, not even paying attention to the inbound.
The inbound to Bielitsa, cut to the basket, and a bunny.